In planning stage, part 1, you'll probably need your planning stage worksheet. On there, you'd select if you're picking a plant or an animal cell. Below that, you're going to say for each organelle what the definition of the organelle is, and then you'll talk about what you're going to use to represent that organelle in your cell model. For example, in my unfinished model here, I have an apple up here representing the nucleus. I chose an apple because it has pores on it that allow it to breathe, just like the nucleus has nuclear pores to allow information in and out. So on this worksheet, what I would write is I would find nucleus, and on there I would put the definition. I would say the nucleus, we talked about it being like the control center of the cell. It contains all the information for everything the cell does. So all the DNA is contained in the nucleus. Then I might say, I'm going to use an apple. And I'll talk about why I chose the apple, about the pores in the apple, kind of representing the nuclear pores in a nucleus of a cell. Once you've done that for all of your organelles, you're going to check off those boxes. So, organelles match to materials. I've got definitions for my organelles. And now the next step is to find those materials. I want you to keep in mind, this is not a project where you have to go out and buy anything. We have cardboard, we have cardstock, we have paper, we have pipe cleaners, anything that you would need to do it in class. If you want to bring stuff in, candy and food, and make yours, by all means feel free to do so, but you do not have to do that. And after that you're done with that, you're ready for step 2. Alright, so welcome to part 2, which is making your key. If you're going to have a cell model and someone's going to be looking at it, they're going to want to know what they're looking at. So here's the part where you tell them exactly what is what on your cell. You'll start by going into the Google slide presentation that's on Classroom, and it can walk you through step by step. It's a very important resource, so you might go check that out. But for me, let's just say that I'm doing a plant cell. All right. So I'm going to walk myself and walk you through how to set up your cell model key. So step 1 says to use the image for the type of cell that you selected. I selected a plant cell in this example, so I'm going to find my plant cell. Below that, it says what to do. So in my drive, go to New, click on More, and then find Google Drawings. Let's do that. Go to Drive, go to New, More, Google Drawings. So far, so good. Let's check and see what else we should do. Next step. We're going to copy and paste the cell that we're modeling into Google Drawings. So go into there, plant cell, I'm going to copy it, go into here, and paste it. Alright, once it's pasted in there, this obviously is not going to be a permanent thing. This is just so we can begin making the key, and then we can use our own later. Alright, so we want to label the parts, but we want to make it interactive. So to do that, let's just say I'm using the nucleus again. So I'll want to make it interactive. That means I'll need to have either audio or video for my link. So I'm going to insert an image, and I want to have an audio icon. You can actually pick whatever kind of picture you want. This just makes the most sense to me. If I'm going to have an audio link, might as well put an audio icon. I'm going to select it and insert it. It's way too big, so we're going to resize it by grabbing this corner here, dragging it down, and put it over my nucleus, right there. Now, the big question next is, how do we get audio to link to that button? Well, let's go back and check and see. Okay, so it looks like on here it has a link to how we can get some audio. You can click on that link. It should take you to a place where you can record your audio. If the classroom is busy with model building, you might want to ask about stepping outside so you can record your audio. What will help you during that time is to have some kind of script ahead of time you can read off of. For whatever reason, whenever you're trying to record audio, people always mess up when they don't have a script or something to read off of. So that'll be something to consider when you go out there. When I want to record my audio, remember I'm talking about the nucleus, so I'm going to want to discuss three things. Let's take a look at what those things are. We need to discuss what the organelle is, the nucleus, what its function is, so what does the nucleus do, and then why did I choose the material that I chose to represent it. So let's try that out. This is the nucleus. So that's why I chose the apple for my nucleus. Now that I have that, I'm going to save that. Now on my computer and yours, it's going to save to the downloads folder. So on my computer, I can just open the downloads folder up and find downloads, find my file. This will come in handy later. So let me go back to here and see what I need to do. I need to link my icon to the audio. So I'm going to go to my drive, and I'm going to take my recording and put it in my drive. Once it's in my drive, I'm going to take a look at where it is, and I'm going to try to get the link for it. Alright, so now that I have my file, I'm going to get the share link so I can put it onto my picture. Back to my picture. There's my audio icon. I'm going to link it to that file. Now when someone sees mine, they look at my nucleus and they're like, what is that? They can play the file of what that is. You'll do this to the rest of your organelles, and once your model is finished, you're just going to swap out the old picture for the new picture. So I'll click on the old picture, delete it. Let's just pretend that I've got my own picture, my own model completed, and drag it into there. And now I'm going to just drag around all of the links that I just made. And you can see right now they look buried. They're kind of underneath the picture. So I'll right click the picture and I'll say I want to send this picture to the back. And there's my icon again with my link on it. I need to find my nucleus right there. And I'm done. I'll drag the rest of my icons to the right spots to make this an interactive picture. Remember, you can do audio or video. If you'd like to record video on your Chromebook, feel free to do so. I just know most of you guys would probably like to do audio. Now once you're finished with making your interactive cell model key, the last and final step is you're going to want to make a shortened link that you can put on your model so the person looking at it knows where to find the information. To do that, just go to bit.ly, the link shortening service. You might want to log in with your Google credentials, find your picture, and get the share link. Alright, so now I've got my shareable link. I'm going to go to bit.ly. I'm going to create a link. Paste that in there. And now it has made a very short link. Copy that. Write that down somewhere. Put that on your cell model so the person who is assessing your model can see the key that you've made. Okay, so on section 3, you're making your model. Now, you've done all the work up until this point, so this really should be one of the easiest things that you do. If you've done your planning right, you've already defined what every single organelle does. You've thought about what you're going to use to represent that organelle on your model. You've gathered all your materials, so now you just got to put it together. Once you've put it together, you'll want to take a picture of it. And once you got a picture of it, you'll want to swap that out for the generic picture you used in your making your key section. So for your interactive key model, you can see here I've got my nucleus and my endoplasmic reticulum and everything else in my plant cell. So I'm going to get rid of my old generic picture, leaving behind my links that have audio attached to them, and I'm going to add in my cell. Now when I do this, you'll realize it's almost like layers. Okay, so I've put my picture in to Google Drawing, and it's now sitting on top of all of my annotations that have my audio links on there. So all I gotta do is just take that picture and put it below them. They'll pop back up. So here's how you do that. You right click, you say the order I want this to go in is to send this picture all the way to the back. Boop. And now you can see all of the different organelles that I've linked are here. And you'll notice one key change. I tried to mention this and go back to section 2 and discuss it. We went away from the pictures just because we realized once we get rid of our old picture and make our new one, it's hard to know what picture goes to what organelle. So we decided to go with some word art or some letters or just regular old labels. So now I'm going to drag my nucleus to a nucleus. My endoplasmic reticulum, I might need to shrink this down a little bit. Alright, so once you've dragged your individual labels to the correct locations, you're done. You should already have your shared link on your model, so it should be good to go. And at that point, you are done with making your model. Alright, so you're finally at the assessing somebody else's model stage. At this point, really, everything else is done, so you get to enjoy yourself. Feel free to check out other cell models from other students. You'll want to check out their interactive key and compare that to the work they've done on their cell. Now, when you're offering feedback, it's really important to offer some constructive criticism. So if you're not liking everything you see, find some way to build somebody up as opposed to tearing them down with their work. They spend a lot of time on this cell, as you did. So you want to make sure you're offering something that, if something is wrong, a way to help them forward as a way, instead of a way of like tearing them down. All right? I know you'll do awesome. Good luck.